Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a match between Larva and Last here on Fighting Spirit. At least I'm pretty sure it's Fighting Spirit. I think I recognize the Korean characters, and I think it's Fighting Spirit, but we will find out momentarily. Bottom left-hand corner is the orange Zerg player. It is Larva. And in the bottom right-hand corner, the purple Terran player, Last, going by Gosu, which is one of his alternate names, one of his Smurf names. Kind of a little bit arrogant there, Last, but definitely one of the greatest Terran players ever to play Brood War. So I guess once you've reached that point, you can go by Gosu as one of your alternate names, and nobody's going to get too mad at you. I think is how that works. Anyway, hey, if you skipped yesterday's fastest map ever match because it was a PvP or because it was fastest map ever, just go watch it. I promise you will enjoy it. It is non-stop action for 20 straight minutes. It is one of the most fun games I've ever cast on my channel. Go click on it. Like, pause this one and watch that one and then come back if you love TVZ. I know it's PvP. I get it. I get you don't like mirror matchups. I know you don't like fastest map ever maybe, but seriously, go check it out. Also, yes, my voice is back. I do this about once a year, it seems like. In the summer months, usually, I lose my voice for about a week. And it sucks, but and then it comes back, and everything's fine. I've got kids, guys. I've got 3 kids, and they're little walking parasites, and they bring bacteria home with them and viruses from the kids they play with at school, and well, I guess they're out of school now, so mostly kids from, like, the neighborhood. But I guess they have play dates. Anyway, they interact with other kids and bring diseases home all the time. So that's what it is, and I'm back, and everything is fine. I appreciate the concern. I really do. I love each and every one of you for watching these and supporting me and subscribing, and it just means a lot. I am glad that there's an appetite for these StarCraft casts, and I'm glad that I can provide them here as well. So both players are scouting around, but nobody finding anybody yet. Are you actually, yeah, I was going to say, not cross-scouting, because the Overlord is scouting up here to the top left, not seeing anything quite yet. The drone is going to go to the top right. Are you coming down? Ooh, he's coming down. And a Larva will get the first scout off here on our friend Last. Last going for what looks like a one-rack... Ooh, is he hiding the... He's actually blocking the ramp. He doesn't want Larva to see what he's doing, which indicates maybe it's not just going to be a boring old one-racks expand here. Oh, the drone got through. The drone got in, and he's going to see the scout anyway. So there's no gas here. I don't know, honestly don't know what he's concerned about not showing. Meanwhile, back in Zergland, it is definitely just going to be a hatch first into a pool. And yeah, that pool is almost done. So the... Possibly will be some links here. No gas. The hatchery finishing. Link production says no because... Nope. Because he's definitely throwing up a macro hatch here at the top of the ramp, as is fairly standard in this matchup for sure. So it is just a one-racks expand. I really don't have any idea what on earth that SCV was hiding. I guess maybe the presence of 2 Marines, but... 2 Marines can't do anything against this hatchery. There's going to be 6 lings. 6 lings are on the way right now. Gas being taken by Larva. And yeah, these Marines, I guess, they're just going to go home. It's like, you know what? We could have gotten something done, I suppose, but I don't know. The timing didn't really make sense at all. 3 Marines now, 4 Marines now. Is he going to try to hit? Maybe try to hit before Larva's ready for it, but he's sending these lings out, and it's a good number. And slow lings versus Marines, not a bad battle for the Zerg, honestly. If you can get on top of them... Oh, that actually went exceptionally well. For Last, however, holy smokes, he didn't lose anything. He barely took any hits, and he took out a couple Zerglings there too. So additional lings might need to be on the way here. The Marine pressure seems pretty serious here from Last. Maybe that's what he was trying to hide, were the Marines in production so early. Once again, the lings not able to get any counterattack off. Oh, maybe that's the threat though. The threat is the lings will go back and start killing stuff. So these Marines are not able to push in. This is really brilliant play out of Larva. I'm not kidding. This is really good stuff. The Marines trying to focus him down. These Marines trying to focus him down. After losing those first 2, Larva's done a pretty good job keeping these lings alive. All 3 of them are still here. Marine count pretty heavy as it stands. And man, that academy is just about done. We could see a pretty darn early Marine medic push fairly soon, which is why the Second Colony is getting started here, which is why we don't have a 3rd base yet out of Larva. He recognizes the aggression we're seeing from the Terran player, and I kind of like it. If it slows down Larva's macro, and Larva is one of those greater macro players on planet Earth today, medic here, stim being researched as well. This definitely does not bode well for anybody who wants to take a 3rd hatchery as a Zerg player. Is he setting a drone up anyway, though? Not really. I mean, he's definitely not. Is what I'm trying to say here. Definitely not. So it's going to be a 2-base Muta, which 2-base Muta here versus a Terran player that's already working on Marines, already has medics, already starting an engineering bay. I don't think this is going to go well for Larva. I'm looking at it. I'm seeing a ton of Marines. I'm seeing the medics. I'm seeing Stim finishing up at 5.5 minutes, which is incredibly fast. I'm seeing additional Marines being produced here. And he hasn't been able to scout. I don't think he knows that there's a Spire here, but I think he has a pretty good idea that there's not a third base anywhere. And as a result, there are not many things that could be coming up here. But you're going to want detection or missile turrets for either of those, right? Detection for lurkers, if that's what it is, and then missile turrets from Mutas, if that's what it is. So Spire not done yet. Engineering bay is done. Working on range for the Marines. And we'll see if he gets those missile turrets started. The timing here... oh, that's not one. That's a supply depot. I keep hoping he's going to start them. But Terran players are pretty good. They're much better than I am at figuring out exactly when they need to start those turrets. And there's your Spire finished. And how many Mutas do we get? We can get as many as 9 here from Larva. Holy smokes, that is some really good opening. And there are the turrets. All right, I worry every time. I honestly do. I worry every time the Terran player is not going to be able to have enough turrets up in time, but they always do. They always do. And as a result, these Mutas might be able to get some stuff done, but I just don't see this working out super well. For Larva here, he's going to have a lot of Mutalisks, as we've established, and he's going for a quick Queen's Nest off of 2 bases, which indicates he's going for that hive technology off of 2 base, which seems insane to me against a 2-basing Terran player as good as Last is, but we'll see if he can make it work or not. The Mutas are cruising on in, and the Marines, nicely done. They get some free shots off. They kill 1 Mutalisk instantly. That was a huge pickup. These first engagements have really gone well for Last here today, and that's really, really encouraging here for sure. Marines and medics trying to figure out where they need to go here. Turret count, 2 of them, with a 3rd one just about to finish here. Couple up here as well by the barracks. The placement is just perfect for Last. He's got 4. He recognizes the Muta count is not the traditional like 5. This is much more than that. I mean, we're looking at 8, which is a huge number. He's continuing the missile turret production there in the natural base. And there are, a couple vulnerable SCVs in here you can pick off. Marines hammering at them from distance. The Mutas are taking some serious damage. 3 of them are pretty seriously injured. The Marines are going for a 3rd base that doesn't exist. This is interesting. I guess he doesn't know. I guess he doesn't know there's not a 3rd base. Has he scanned? Oh, that felt like a scan to me. Yes, that definitely was a scan. So there's not a 3rd base. So he's like, this is a 2-basing Larva right now. What is going on? The answer is, well, it's a 2-basing Larva. The Muta's continuing to try to do stuff. They haven't lost any additional Mutalisks. I don't know that they've gotten any serious kill counts on them either. 1 or 2 here. They don't seem to have hurt Larva, or Last rather, all that much. The L names, they are too similar, and they are freaking my little brain out sometimes. Lurkers on the way. Well, Lurker aspect being researched anyway, and Hydralisks in production at the moment. And yeah, it's just going to be Marine Medic, man. Marine Medic going for +1 upgrades for those guys. I kind of feel like it's the right idea, honestly. Because you can split well versus the Lurkers. This is pretty much all you need. Obviously, tanks are going to be really good versus the Lurkers, too. We're going to see a Defiler Mound. We've got to see a Defiler Mound, don't we? There we go. Defiler Mound in production to cover those Lurkers. And in that case, you do want the tanks. You do want the Firebats quite possibly. Dude, Larva's going for a greater Spire. He's 2-basing Lurkers, Mutalisks, and Guardians, which honestly seems insane to me. That seems like way too much tech for just 2-base if you're a Zerg player, but again, Larva is much better player than I am. I'm not going to question him too heavily on that. We'll see if it works out. We'll see if it works out for him anyway. I don't know why he would fly in there. He knew there were turrets present. He flew in, took some shots, and flew out, which... Did he lose one? He might have lost one of his Mutalisks just through his whole deal, but... Yeah, Last is cruising on in here with his Marines, with his medics, with his tanks. +1 is finishing up. The timing here is absolutely impeccable for Last right now. +1 is like... there it is. +1 is done. He's here. He's ready to go. I mean, this is how you know you're a great player, is when you can do these timing attacks where you show up at the front door of your opponent and your upgrade is finished and instantly available. instantly ready to go. That is such a great feeling. Third base is done for Larva down here to the south. And another base trying to be taken to the top right here, but he has more pressing problems than expansions. He wants to hold on to his natural, if at all possible, but man, adrenal glands coming on in. We got more Hydralisks in production. Consume is not quite done yet. We don't have the Dark Swarm that we want. Marines trying to come in and finish off these Sunkens so we can push in more quickly. Ling's getting massacred. Sunkens are all gone, and nicely done, taking out that Science Vessel with a couple Scourge there. Dark Swarm is present. Consume is done at the very, very last second here. Fantastic job there from Larva, but he is still two base in it. It's 93 to 65. In the grand scheme of things, this Zergling is effectively immortal. Then he wanders outside of the Dark Swarm and dies. So Dark Swarm lasts forever and a day, but I think Last is patient enough to try to wander. I was going to say, oh, another Dark Swarm comes up. That's it. You wait for one to finish, and it's just like, I don't think he knows this is here, you guys. I don't think Last knows this third base is present. Check it out. We get Guardians. We actually get Guardians here. Did he manage to wander? He wandered some Lurkers up in range of the tanks. No way. There is no way Larva gets out of this. He's actually pushing this back. He's breaking the contain. This base, not going to happen. But the fact that he has a third base is hugely important. The Guardians are going to wander over and help to break the contain. And there we go. Guardians are slow, but they hit like trucks. Oh gosh, don't even. He can't get in here. He can't get in here. These Lurkers are doing damage. They are putting in work right now. 3 kills on that one, 7 kills on that one. Guardians versus Marines. One of the Guardians is probably going to die. And it does, just because, again, Marines are some of the best anti-air in the whole game. So a Guardian dies, but everybody else gets wrecked here by the Guardian-Lurker combination. Some Lings come in to assist with that damage, and everybody is out. So, we found the third base. Last found the third base. He's trying to take down that Lurker. He does take the Lurker down before he can burrow one in. Yeah, Scourge do hit the Science Vessel. One goes down, but there's still one present. Ling's coming up the backside. Try to save the day. Marines and Firebats are coming in the other door, though. And this does not bode well for Larva at all. Last has found your secret third base, which you're hoping to keep secret. Lurker under Dark Swarm is still saving the day here for Larva. I just got to say, I mean, it is incredibly inspiring to see a Zerg player be at this tech at like 11 minutes. Lurkers, Guardians, Defilers, and Dark Swarm, all at like 10 minutes, is absolutely bananas. I can't believe he got here, and he's staying here. He kept his third base. It's alive. Last hasn't really been able to expand either. He hasn't really tried, but hasn't worked out. Fourth hatchery. Last, his map awareness has just been absolutely pristine this game. He's going to force a cancel on that fourth. There's really no saving it at all. 1-1 is done for the Marines. And some Lings come in to try to delay, which all the Lings die. The Lurker manages to burrow in. Are you kidding? He can't save this. No, he can't. Sorry, Lurker's not going to happen. And cancel? No, not even a cancel. Tag at the front, trying to do some stuff. Nicely done, keeping that. Oh, the Guardian. Yeah, there you go. Guardian gets irradiated and goes down. Firebat in here. Stimmed up, roasting up drones. This is really kind of falling apart for Larva right now, as he couldn't get the fourth base up. And his natural has absolutely zero income right now, but the Lurkers. Yeah, Lurkers Zergling pretty good against Bio, as it turns out, against these small infantry units. And I mean, I'm gonna say invisible, but it's invincible. Invincible Zergling there. Working on Titan Reactor, additional Science Vessel energy here. Last is taking a third base and has taken a third base at the 3 o'clock position. Attempting a drop. Oh my gosh, the Scourge. Oh my gosh, the Scourge caught that dropship and killed everybody inside. What a Gosu play there from Last. Once again, Marines trying to get stuff done. This game is bananas. I cannot believe how back and forth this has been. I've been really, overall, unable to decide who's going to win at any given time. Again, main base mining is now absolutely zero. Lynx have to come in and try to save the day, and they will, as the Marines have no medic support whatsoever. Sure, they've got the upgrades, but they need the healing. That's why Marines were garbage in StarCraft 1. It wasn't until the Brood War expansion that things got awesome. But +2/+1 here. +1 Ground Carapace is done for Larva, but nice Plague. Ah, what a disgustingly effective Plague. The Fire Bats versus all of these Zerglings. A lot of Marines died, but everybody is still generally here. Lurkers, problematic. One goes down. Morlings coming in. Scourge catching another science vessel, which means your detection is out, which means the Lurker's more effective. Not that it was really necessary anyway. What is this Fire Bat doing? This Fire Bat and a Vulture drops on in here. They're trying to take down... Oh, the Plague! Do they get the spawning pool anyway? They get the spawning pool anyway, and then they all die. Last has taken up 4th base in the top right-hand corner here. He is trying desperately to keep the Zerg player on 3 bases, even though a 4th hatchery is on the way right now. 108 to 74 supply. Last has a lead, which is not as big as he really needs it to be when facing a Zerg player, although we are 16 minutes into the game, so it seems like he's been able to keep Larva down quite nicely. Yeah, and upgrades definitely favoring the Terran right now. +2/+1. He just doesn't have the tanks. He doesn't have any tanks to deal with this. He's making an additional factory to help with that. But is it going to be enough is the question of the day. So the good news is that he's got a 4th base at the same time that the Zerg player gets his 4th base. So he's keeping up. He's ahead and base count here, which is a great feeling to be. A great feeling to experience. Overlord gets picked off. He's been pretty good at killing Overlords. Ooh, dropship does not get killed. It was full of units here too. So that would have been really bad news if that had gotten taken down. Trying to sneak on in. Nope. Nope. No drops for you. The Scourge from Larva have just been insanely on point this entire game. Marines going for it. Lurker down. Again, that Carapace really helps keep those Lurkers alive, man. That +1 ground Carapace makes them harder and harder to kill. Nice Plague. Catching the science vessels. This is where the mutas need to come in. Mutalisks can come in and take out several science vessels at once they've all been plagued and brought down to 1 or fewer. I mean, not fewer, but around 1 HP. Ah, using the maneuver. Using the science vessel irradiate maneuver. The lawnmower maneuver? I'm trying to remember what it is. I believe Boxer is the first one to do it, according to Wikipedia. People have pointed it out in the comments before, and it's always appreciated to get some of that historical insight from you guys, so thank you so much. Did you know I'm casting a bonus Brood War replay every single week on my channel? Over at patreon.com/FalconPaladin. If you subscribe to me over there for as little as $1 a month, everybody who gives only $1 a month or more will get access to that extra replay, which, holy smokes, that is like a quarter a replay, people. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, well. Hang on. Can we save it? No, absolutely not. 4 Marines and a medic show up. Lurkers wandering up to this base, but they are bugging out a little bit here. Finally burrow down after 1 gets killed. Marines trying to hold back here behind the mineral lines. They do manage to take down a Lurker, which is fantastic play. Lurker's getting into the mineral line for Gosu's 4th base, though. It is kind of a tit-for-tat situation here. Replacement spawning pool might get taken down as well. Man, this is absolutely shutting down the 4th base entirely. There's nothing that can stop these Lurkers. I can't believe he just wandered some Lurkers up. He put a Lurker on the ramp too, so reinforce himself a hard time getting up there. Boy, this is some really fantastic StarCraft from both of these players right now. I cannot believe this. I mean, I guess you irradiate them, right? Yeah, you irradiate them. Marines trying to take down this 3rd base for Larva. Sunken Colony, not enough. Single Lurker here, not enough, but he doesn't have the detection to kill it. He needs a scan, quite possibly. Coming in from both sides. And the Lurkers are not in position to save these drones. Firebat getting in amongst the drones here with that +2 attack. It does get taken out by the Lurkers. Fantastically done, but the income for the 3rd base is nil at the moment, as all of the drones have either been killed or forced to flee here. Dark Swarm finally comes up to try to save the day with Lurker positioning, and it is going to be able to dislodge the Terran player here. Additional Lings cruising on over to try to help there too. The hatchery is taking tank fire. Too many Marines firing onto the third base. Does end up going down. And the Terran forces in the southern section of the base at least get cleaned out, but there are still tanks here. There are still Marines here. Larva is in an immense amount of trouble. It's 150 to 94 supply. Marine tank making it happen here for last. It has been a valiant effort for the Zerg player, but I just don't see him coming out of here. The Dark Swarm play has been good and is continuing to be fairly decent, but losing your third base, not being able to shut down the fourth base entirely. Did this Lurker reposition? Nope, he's still here on the ramp, trying to build a ComSat station in range of a Lurker. That is a difficult thing to pull off, as it turns out. So finally, one tank shows up. That guy has 0 kills, but he's done some damage. He hasn't been entirely useless, which is all you really want to hear if you're a guy, you know. Oh, ha, yeah, okay, yeah, all right. Marines tacking on in. Lurkers getting finished off. Taking a lot of Marines with them, though. I can tell you that much. Lings trying to cruise on in. The pressure has not been able to get to the natural base of Last the entire game. It has not changed now. Marines and Firebats are ready to rock here. The Firebat play from Last has just been so incredibly fun to see. Overlord's getting picked out of the sky, and I don't think Larva's close to being supply blocked, and by golly, he's not. Man, the Plague, though. The Plague is so good. Lurkers getting wiped out on the right side. Stimmed Firebats working in tandem. Working together are just impressive. Larva did manage to take a base in the top left to replace his third, but that just got scanned by Last. He's aware. He's aware that it exists. He's heading that way right now. He's got double the supply of Larva. There are Lings running around. There are a couple Scourge, maybe some Lurkers here, some Defilers in the mix too. It is a big race to try to save the base. And some Lings do get there ahead of the army, but irradiate on the Defilers. All they can do is throw up a Dark Swarm, but they know they're dead. They know they're dead, and there's nothing they can do about it. Fantastic play there for sure. And yeah, without those Defilers, there's just really no saving this base at all. Sure, you can burrow on top of the ramp there, but now tanks are out. You can handle infantry. Right? You can handle infantry here with these Lurkers, but the tanks just laugh at you if you don't have any Dark Swarm protection. Now, the replacement, the fourth base, rather, is under attack here by the Firebats. This was killed once. It is back now. Tanks are firing up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Lurkers are desperately trying to save it without Dark Swarm. They're just not as good. They all get picked out of the ground. The hatch is down, and good game, says Larva. Larva taps out. And Last is your winner here in 22 minutes and 40 seconds. Woo! What an absolutely jam-packed, action-packed game there from both of these players. From the early Marine pressure to the quick two-base Mutalisk, to the quick Hive, to the Defiler play at 10 minutes, to the Guardians and the Dark Swarm and the Plague. Larva was everywhere in that match, but his problem was he couldn't kill any of the bases. He could not kill any Terran command centers whatsoever. None. He didn't bother the main base really after the Mutaharass, which didn't do a whole lot. He never really bothered the natural base. The third base, I don't think got touched by anything Zerg. There was that Lurker attack at the fourth, but really only killed maybe a couple Marines and a couple SCVs. And then this fifth base is just, it was overwhelming. Larva's production was insane, but Last's was better. Last's was better. He had additional bases. He never stopped the SCV production, it felt like. He had multiple bases ready to go. He killed multiple hatcheries, killed one before it even popped, which is a major victory for sure. Got the upgrades that he needed and made it happen. So, I mean, he lost a lot of stuff. A lot of Marines died. A lot of medics died. A lot of tanks died. Dropships got killed. I loved the drop play mixing in there too. Really don't see enough of that. And then the Firebats, recognizing his opponent was going pretty heavy Ling. He's like, you know what? Firebats are good. Firebats are also pretty decent versus Lurkers, if you can believe it. Just because they get right on top of the Lurker, and the Lurker can't hit all of them at once, just has to pick a direction and go. So, fantastic, wonderful job there. This might be the screenshot. I just like Firebats in action for my screenshots. I don't know. Might find something else. We'll have to see how it works. So, whew, GG. GG to Last. Score, 140,000 for Larva, 139,800 for Last. So Larva had the higher score, produced more units, killed 250 units of the Terran player, But 401 units produced by Last is a huge number of Terran units. And in fairness, it was bio the entire time. So it's not like he was producing tanks mass. He wasn't going mech there, as we've seen recently on the channel. Structures is a weird thing for ZVT, just because, again, there are supply depots. But anyway, raising 12 Zerg structures is a lot of structures. Those are hatcheries. Those are sunken colonies. Those are Nidus canals. A lot of that stuff went down. And overall, more spent. About 2,000 resources more spent there for Last. More minerals mined by a large chunk, actually, by about 6,000. And more gas mined from the Zerg. But again, you didn't need that much gas because of how many Marines you were producing. And those are all gas-free units. So good game. Fantastic game there from Last. Getting the win against a very good Zerg player in Larva. We'll have to see a rematch between these two sooner rather than later. I have quite a few replays between these two I was able to find, which is always fun to find rematches between two guys who had a really fantastic back and forth in one of the matches and see how the second one will go. But that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.